For a long time, this land was nothing more than a vast white space on Western maps. And yet, the Asmat have always lived here in southwestern New Guinea, the second largest island in the world. Recently, the people of Irian Jaya have received permission from the Indonesian government to give their land a name with which they can identify: Western Papua. Asmat territory has always been inaccessible because it is protected by very high mountains to the north and by the Arafura Sea to the south, a dangerous sea with sudden terrifying storms. This is why they have been able to preserve their culture. At the beginning of the 21st century, it is one of the last unexplored regions of the globe. The Asmat have always survived without cultivating the soil. They hunt, gather food, and fish. The hot, humid climate, however, doesn't permit them to store anything, and so the search for food is a daily activity. The women do the fishing. The men are here just to protect them. Although the Asmat are no longer threatened by surprise attacks, they have kept their traditional distribution of tasks. The men defend the territory, while the women are responsible for the family's sustenance. Like all Asmat villages, Biwar Laut is muddy because the very flat land deposits brine at high tide, which penetrates up to 100 kilometers inside the earth. That's why the roads are lined with poles and the houses built on stakes. The Asmat build large houses, big enough for entire families. Rufinus lives in his father's house, along with his sister and her family, his brother and his mother. Everyone works together as well. Rufinus has his meals here, but he spends most of his time in the Jeu, where he sleeps, along with the other bachelors. Once he's married, he will live with his wife's family. Nobody here lives alone. There's always someone to watch the children and the sick when the women leave for the ocean or the jungle. Thus, all food is shared. The group takes precedence over the individual in Asmat life. What counts is the family link. The real father of a young boy is his maternal uncle, because a child is considered to be the descendant of his mother. Rufinus has followed his uncle everywhere, ever since he was a child. He learned everything from him, and thus owes him everything. Ambrose, Rufinus's grandfather, lives further up the river, outside of the village.
Awo, nam sanam batak. Sanam batakin.
Rufinus knows that for his grandfather, it is very important that he be married according to tradition, that he offer the ritual presents and kill a cassowary. Nevertheless, it can never compensate for what the asmat have lost. Ambrose claims that the ancestors are furious with them. Their deaths are no longer avenged because the men don't go headhunting anymore. Perhaps the ancestors will stop the sago palms from growing. Ambrose says that the asmat were headhunters once, but today, for him, they are nothing. And yet the asmat are still here. Children are born, Rufinus is getting married, life goes on. If he's going to have a chance of killing a cassowary, Rufinus must go around the trap and stay undercover. The high grass protects him. Even as a prisoner, the bird is very dangerous. If it's surprised, it could escape and attack. The asmat have always identified themselves with the cassowary. In the past, when they left to go headhunting, the men would draw its footprint on the soles of their feet, their calves, and their thighs. They have always tried to capture the bird's speed and strength. They used to sculpt the great bird in wood for their boats and their axes to become part of it symbolically. The young animal's feathers are not black yet, although it is already adult size and weighs more than 30 kilograms.